Artists, today we are going to be making a color monster using some crayons and some watercolor paint. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we are going to use a tracer, and we're going to trace two circles kind of in the middle of our paper, and these are going to be the eyes of our color monster. Now when you trace something, you want to hold it steady with one hand, and we're going to use crayon, and we just want to trace around the edges of our circle. Now aim for your best. It does not have to be perfect, but do your best to trace a circle. That's going to be one eye of our color monster. And I'm going to put another eye right next to it. If your eyes touch, that's okay. If they're far away, that's okay too. Everyone's color monster is going to look different. Once you have traced two circles, we have two eyes. So inside of our eye, we want to show that this is an eye. So we're going to color in two small black circles to make the pupil of our color monster's eye. The next thing that we want to do is we want to give our color monster a head. So we're going to do a curved over the hill line. And we're going to start on one side, on the left side of our paper, on the edge, and we're going to do a curved line that goes all the way over to the other side. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, we're aiming for our best. That's going to show us where the top of our color monster's head is. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to give our color monster a mouth. And our mouth is going to go underneath the eyes. And it can be a straight line, or it can be a frown line, or it can be a smile line. I want my color monster to have a happy face, so I'm going to give him a smile line. And we know that all friendly monsters have teeth. So we're going to make some triangle shapes right on top of our smile line. And I'm going to give my monster two teeth. Now every fun monster has horns of some kind. I think I'm going to give my monster two horns right at the top. And I'm going to give those horns some lines. And now we have just finished our color monster. Before we add paint to our monster, we need to use some crayons to add color for the eyes and the teeth. So today I want you to pick one color for your eyes, and they can be two different colors. I think I'm going to pick an orange for one eye, and I think I maybe want to pick a green color for my second eye. And when we color, we don't want to scribble. We want to truly try to take our time and stay inside of the lines that we made for our monster eyes. So I'm going to pause, and I'm going to catch up. Once you have the color for your eyes picked out, now you're going to want to color in the teeth. And when I think of a monster's teeth, I think of yellow teeth. So I'm going to make my monster's teeth yellow. I'm going to pause and catch up. The last thing that we're going to use crayons for are the horns for our monster. So I'd like you to pick some colors and add those to the horns of your monster. I'm going to pick those two colors and add them right up top. Now that we're ready for paint, you'll see that I have wrote your name in black crayon right by your monster's mouth. This is so that we can see whose monster this is. I'm going to teach you how to paint with watercolors today. So we have our monster on a messy mat. This helps us keep our table clean, and it helps us clean our brushes. These are watercolors, and I have three colors for you: red, yellow, and blue. These are the primary colors. We have a paintbrush. Now, boys and girls, when we use paint on a paintbrush, we want to make sure that our paintbrush stays really nice, almost like a ballerina on her toes. We don't ever want to smash our brush down really hard. We don't ever want to make it flat, because that's going to ruin our brush. So we want to make sure that when we're brushing, we brush real light. So when we hold a pencil, we kind of write like this, but when we hold a paintbrush, we hold it towards the end so that we can brush really lightly. You also have a tray at your table, and it's got some water. It looks like a dog dish, and there's a wet sponge and some water here, and we're going to use both of those today when we paint. Today you're going to be mixing colors. So for your monster, you get to pick 2 colors to paint on your monster. You can pick red and yellow, or yellow and blue, or blue and red, or red and yellow. Pick any 2 colors to mix together when we paint our monster. Now, I have to teach you the right way to use these watercolors. This is dry right now, so there's not going to be any paint coming out of here. Because they're watercolors, they need water to use them. So we have to wake them up with some water. So remember, we want to be really gentle with our brush. I'm going to get some water in my brush, and I'm going to wake up that red. So I'm just carefully mixing that water into that red. Now I'm going to pick red and blue for my monster. So I have some red on my brush, and I can just start adding it right to my monster. And it's okay if I accidentally go over top of my yellow teeth or my black drawing lines, because this is watercolor, it doesn't stick to the wax of the crayon. So I'm going to add some of that red. I need some more. So if my watercolor paint needs more water, I carefully dip my brush into the red, and I add some more. So I'm just going to fill up my color monster with my red. It's okay if it goes over top of our eyes, because remember, the wax of the crayon will resist the water of the watercolor. Need a little bit more water for my red. Now, am I using 2 colors right now or just 1? We want to start with 1 color, and then we'll add our second color. Now, boys and girls, I just finished painting my color monster with my red paint. Should I put my red brush right into the yellow or the blue? No, because then it will mix with them. So I need to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to wipe my extra paint onto my messy mat, being gentle with my brush. Then I'm going to carefully wipe my brush onto that sponge to help me get any extra off. Now it's nice and clean and ready for my next color. I'm going to try to add some blue on top of this. I think it might make a pretty purple color. So I'm going to carefully dip my brush into the water. I'm going to wake up my blue. And then I'm going to add my blue right on top of my red. It's going to make a purple color. So I'm careful not to paint over top, but if I do, it's okay because the color will not stick. So I'm going to pause and catch up by finishing and adding that blue on top of my red. Now that I've used red and blue to mix together for my color monster, I'm going to pick 1 color that I haven't used yet to add to my background. Now remember, there's blue on here, so I need to wipe it on my messy mat, wipe it on my sponge, and get some fresh water to wake up my yellow. And then I can add that to my background. And when we are all done, we will have created a monster that was made out of mixing the primary colors.